So then when you're in a situation like ours and you say, well, I'm not interested in money, I just want spiritual knowledge and truth. Krishna puts us through that test. And okay, you do? Well, okay. Let's see how good you're going to react when I start taking things away from you that you said you didn't want. Okay, let's see how much you really don't want them. And then, and this is the deep scrubbing that goes on with Krishna consciousness. It maybe it starts to deeply scrub these things that you thought you weren't attached to, but you realize, wow, I really wasn't. I said I was coming into this not for material wealth, but there's these other things I'm very, very deeply attached to. A sense of stability, a sense of material stability that actually isn't stable anyway. And by the way, on the side note, it's not that, oh, now that I worship Krishna, I heard what Kostuba just said. He says we're going to lose everything. Guess what? You're going to lose anything anyway. It's not like you get a pass from losing everything. This is material life. We lose everything.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sage. It's a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kostuba Das. Welcome to the show. It's episode 1486. Today is December 7th, 2024. And we're doing it. It's Q&A day. It's Sleep In Saturday. You got to sleep in an extra hour today for those who are joining us live. And you can join us live, too. Right to Mara. Miss Mara here, situated to my right. Wisdom of the Sages 108 at gmail.com. She'll send you the secret codes to join Zoom. But greeting to all the 10,000 other people that are listening live right now, or not live, unlive, the others out there who are just wandering around in their cars, scrolling, searching through like spiritual podcasts. And this came up and now you're listening to us. Welcome. It's a daily study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Saturday, which is today, we do a special Q&A day where people write in, they write a question, we try our best to answer it. We study from this book, the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is, they say it's the pinnacle of the teachings of ancient India. And we try to take this ancient book and make it relevant to our life. If you're listening on Facebook, good morning, welcome. We do this on a regular basis. You can binge listen to episodes on your time off when you're going for drives across the country or driving to work. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Kostuba. How are you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. What do we do next now?
Well, our next, Miss Mara's got some lovely announcements.
I do. We're doing Sweet Baby Krishna tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern
Look at
Time.
you guys.
Sweet Baby Krishna. We're doing it every night. I forgot. I announced it yesterday on my Instagram live, but I put the wrong day. I said, make sure you join in Thursday. It was already Friday yesterday. I'm just running a day behind. I got to catch up to my life. But tonight we're having Sweet Baby Krishna at 7:30 because Janavi Pritti's visiting us. We figured we're just going to read together every night anyway. So why not just do it on Zoom, especially for our community members? Are you a community member? Or you just give a monthly donation of your choice? The Sage community platform. You can do it by just going to our website, if you like what we're
Uh-oh. I think those guys are lagging real bad, huh? Yeah? Okay. I thought I was going to have the bad internet today. Raghunath, can you hear me?
Or I'm choppy.
You're real choppy.
I'm choppy? You're
Yeah,
choppy.
No, it's you.
Oh, I'm choppy.
You don't
You
call
think
me
my
choppy, I
connection's
call you
unstable?
choppy.
You should see my life. My life's unstable, man. Forget my connection. You're lucky I even showed up today. I did my best to just get this shirt on and twirl my mustache.
All right. Let's get this moving forward, Raghunath. It's
Okay, well, we're
Q&A
moving
day.
forward. I just want to say, if you want to check out that movie before we interview Yadubar tomorrow, it's an incredible movie.
Oh,
And watch it and then write in a question on the board tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
I don't. People didn't hear you. There's an interview tomorrow. You're interviewing Yadubar, who's
Okay.
produced some wonderful
Inc-
films,
Incredible
photographed.
film. Incredible film. Harry, what is it? The title of it? I always get it wrong.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, the man, the mantra, and the
Hare
guru,
Krishna, the
the
mantra, the
Viveka.
movement, and the Swami who started it all.
It's a
Yeah.
very great movie, and he's a very great soul. Okay. So we have a question today by our dear friend Ishvari Janavi from Sarajevo. Met her in Sarajevo this year. Very nice
Mhm.
lady. She said this is a really important discussion.
Oh,
What?
maybe give a little context here, right? Because this just came up. Normally, we're getting questions through the Sage community platform, or people are writing to wisdomofsages108@gmail.com. But this one came up just yesterday during the show on the chat board,
Okay.
and we're near the end of the show, so we said let's just hold that for the Q&A day, right?
Hmm.
But
Okay.
we were hearing a commentary from Srila Prabhupada. I might even be able to pull it up, but in any case, there was a verse there that speaks, that more or less said that someone may approach Krishna with material desires, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally the teachings of bhakti are that we should elevate ourselves to the platform where we approach God not with anything, without any material desire, but purely. We call it pure bhakti, right?
Hmm.
That I'm coming just out of love. I'm serving because I love you, not that I want to get something from you. But in that verse, Krishna said that even if someone comes to me and they want to get something from me, I may give them what they want, but give it to them in such a way, right, where they don't want it anymore. Or if someone's very dear to me, I take everything from them so that they just turn to me, without any other shelter. I now become their complete shelter. So it was in that context that she asked this question. You want to hear
Okay.
it?
Here's the question. Ready?
Yeah.
What is the attitude that we should take when things are taken away and we
Mm,
do not understand why? Does Krishna's response to a situation depend on our attitude in the situation?
okay.
Does Krishna's response to a situation, meaning what happened,
Yeah,
depend on
like
our
is Krishna
attitude?
responding according to the attitude that we take? I think that's what she's asking. All right, Rogan,
Okay.
want to get started?
I'm going to wrestle with this one.
Well,
Okay.
then
So here again,
wrestle.
what is the attitude that we should take when things are get taken away? There's that saying that some devotees don't like to hear, that when Krishna likes you, he gives you whatever you want, and when he loves you, he takes it all away. And we're studying this book, 18,000 verses of fantastic stories from the ancient world of people who have the haves, I call it, of the world, kings and queens and royalty and powerful personalities, and they're all going through some type of pain or pinch or some loss, sometimes a betrayal, sometimes some hurt. And sometimes it's a maha hurt, some mega hurt. And it's showing how to deal with loss, really, and how should we react to it. And I know, well, we were just talking yesterday about when we were going through COVID, it was such a hard time for a lot of people. A lot of people who were like recovered from alcohol or drugs, or other types of addictions. They went right back to their addiction in times of incredible, overwhelming stress. They lean right into their addiction. Some of them have been sober for 20 years. Then we found other people, they got into spending, like online merchandise. If you ran a merchandise company, and I know somebody who does, I think the merchandise people were just shopping. And that's shopping is one way to deal with pain. And so these are all different types of coping mechanisms. Eating, a lot of people lost weight because they figured, like, I'm going to work out. I'm going to lean into working out. And they set up like gyms in their driveway and stuff like that. But a lot of people leaned into eating when they were distressed or overwhelmed. So, what are we leaning into? We say that when we go through these sinkholes in life, which, on a side note, me and Mara read about this lady who lost her dog in a sinkhole the other day. And then she went after and she fell in the sinkhole. I never found out what happened to
Terrible.
her. Horrible. A dog just fell into a sinkhole. Anyway, when we go through these sinkholes of material existence, but everything just falls out from under our feet, what do we lean into? So We interpret that loss as Krishna's love because I've been taking shelter of things that can't really actually fulfill me. And when we look at those things like addictive substances, shopping, sex addiction, eating, etc., they don't give us what we want. Oftentimes they cause us more pain. But we've also, and probably everybody listening to this has probably had some experience when they went through great loss. And instead of just like jumping on some rebound, they go deep inside themselves and they say, how can I grow from this? And they internalize this. That's why a good therapist will never say, after a breakup, you should jump right into a relationship. No, they'll never say that. They say, take some time, grieve the loss, feel that pain, go inside, see what your responsibility was. So in the loss of the material world, we try to do that. We say, what does God want me to learn from this? What can be a takeaway? How is I responsible for this? Did I have some responsibility in this loss? How is Krishna loving me with this? And sometimes when we're standing in it, we can't see it. But when we look back at previous times, there was some pain, some loss, some reversal in life. We look back and say, oh man, thank God. Thank God I got laid off from that job. Thank God she left me or he left me or he broke my heart. Or thank God I failed out of college that year. Or we look back at those reversals in life and we think, thank God. And we understand that there is a greater plan, but sometimes in the thick of it, I can't see it. As devotees, we're training ourselves to see this is God's plan for my growth. This is God's plan for my evolution. And I'm going to trust the process here. What do you think? Did I
Yeah.
answer the question? What's the
I think
attitude
kind of.
we should take? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Um, Ishwari Janavi asks, does Krishna's response to a situation depend on our attitude in the situation? And well, certainly, Krishna says that he reciprocates accordingly, right? He reciprocates, he does. He reciprocates with our attitude, with how we approach him. He reciprocates accordingly. He's a person, he's not a machine. And and so really through everything that's happening to us in life, it's really it can all be interpreted as his grace, right? But I was this is kind of a deep question, right? Because things get real touchy when we start talking about like losing everything in life. I'm going to read you the verse. When you hear this verse, it's a little heavy, right?
Yeah.
Prabhupada, he felt this verse really spoke to his own life, and I know people that even the details of this verse really speaks into their life. There's a general understanding here that can speak to all of us, and it gets really specific. So maybe it's others relate to it very specifically, but Krishna says, if I especially favor someone, this isn't going to sound good.
It almost sounds like, can I join a new religion?
Yeah. Yeah, can I look into Kali maybe? Shiva. Anyone.
Scientology, anything.
Okay. But if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth.
Ooh.
Then
What about all the abundance mantras I've been chanting?
then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another. Thank you. Thank you. Why? Why would God do this to someone that he especially favors? Because he knows. He knows something about us. He knows that we will never let go. Right? We are so thick that we will never, ever let go. And so he arranges things in such a way where like he kind of just takes what we're not willing to let go of. When he knows that we can begin to process this in a healthy way. We speak sometimes that when these really tough times in life come, they're capable of breaking one thing or the other. They may break our faith in God, right? Why would God allow this to happen? But what they're really, if we're nourishing our thoughts every day by reading and hearing and discussing and contemplating and reflecting on the wisdom of these texts, that when that really tough time comes, rather than breaking our faith in God, it will finally, once and for all, free us by breaking our faith in the material world, that the material world is a place where I'm going to find my happiness. And Krishna says, I know that you know this. I know that you know it theoretically. Now I'm going to give you some real life experience, you know,
Yeah.
and it's going to be really good for you because you're going to take shelter. Now, Ishwari Janavi asked, what is the attitude that we should take when things are taken away and we do not understand why? And Ishwari Janavi, there's one verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, maybe more than any other, that really speaks to this and that's often quoted. And this is the wonderful verse spoken by Lord Brahma to Krishna after he really tried to trick Krishna. He kind of offended Krishna. He realized, whoa, although you look like just a little boy that's playing around and messing around and having fun, I took you for granted. I didn't recognize who you really are. I feel really bad about that. And now I want to offer you my prayers. And in those prayers, he says this. He says, my dear Lord, this is the attitude, Janavi Ishri, or Ishri Janavi. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy on him, right? I'm patiently waiting for you to give me kindness that I don't even deserve, right?
No, Nityananda Chandra, put this verse up on the board. Everyone's got to memorize this verse.
Okay, everyone.
Everyone,
My dear Lord.
this is today's homework. This is good.
Okay, today's homework. Good. One who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon them. Now, this is real important. All the while, patiently suffering the reactions of their past misdeeds.
This is some
Right.
past karma you're dealing with.
Yeah, I brought this on myself. Krishna's not. It's like Krishna's actually minimizing what I should
Stop
be getting.
blaming God. Stop blaming the universe. Stop blaming the government. Why brought radical
government.
responsibility?
It's the government.
No more
All
complaining. No more complaining.
No more complaining. All the while patiently suffering the reactions of their past misdeeds. And okay, so I've already determined that all this misfortune that's landed on me, I brought it on myself. I'm just going to accept it and suffer through it without complaining, without blaming. And I'm going to wait for Krishna. I'm going to pray to Krishna, wait for him to bestow his mercy, causeless mercy on me. He says, all the while suffering one's past misdeeds and suffering the reactions of their past misdeeds, offering respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body. Okay? I'm laying my body down. I'm speaking words of glorification, but right from the core of my heart, Krishna, I'm going through this, but all I want is to take shelter of you. That's all I want. I don't want anything else, I thought I had the other things that were going to make me happy, and now they've all been ripped away from me. I'm seeing how fragile, how empty all those ideas that I had were. I'm right from the core of my heart. I'm offering you my respect, my love, my appreciation. I'm asking you to become my shelter, like that. For that person, they are surely eligible for liberation, for it has become their rightful claim. Now, there were some really interesting commentaries on this, Raghunath. Stuff that I'd never read before. I just kind of started
Such a
digging
good
into
verse,
it.
huh?
It
Everyone
is
should just read this maybe 3 times.
key to life.
Right? I'm just going to read it. Let me read it over quick, and then you dive into these. My
Okay.
dear Lord, one who is earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances within his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become their rightful claim.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, boom. One of the all these Vaishnava commentators, they say this liberation means bhakti. Right? It's the freedom that comes through bhakti, freedom from the sufferings of this world, but through bhakti. One thing they say, many of them kind of, I'm not sure who said it first. It may have been Madhvacharya, and then others repeat what he says. But they say this term diabuk, which is saying it becomes their rightful claim.
Mm.
Dia means like to give. Diabuk means it's like you are like when you inherit something, when your parents pass away and you inherit their property. It's like there's only one thing that the child needs to do to be the rightful claimant of that property. They just need to live. If they're alive, they get it. And they say that being alive in this context means being alive in bhakti, right?
Mm.
When my mind and my heart are going to Krishna, then I'm alive, and nobody else is. If you're not that, you're not alive, and you're not going to
Mm.
get the inheritance of this bhakti liberation. So we need to be alive, and they discuss a bit about how in a verse that comes a few verses before this that I'll read in a moment. It talks about how you stay alive so that you can get that. But here's something about the attitude. Listen to this, Raghunath. This is Jiva Goswami speaking. He says, this person in this situation, right? Everything's been taken away from me. Something really difficult has come my way. They do not consider happiness and distress arising from those conditions.
Mm.
They're not thinking about, oh, I'm in distress right now, I need to be happy. They're not even thinking any of that, right? They're not trying to change that. But one offers respect to you with attachment to Krishna, using mind, body, and words in order to develop a taste for your topics as described in verse number 5. I'm going to read verse number 5 in a minute. But now this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The person nicely and fully expects his Krishna's compassion, knowing that both happiness and unhappiness are obtained in time and are only the results of the Lord's compassion, right?
Mm.
I know that sometimes happy things will come my way and sometimes more miserable things will come my way, and I know that it's all the Lord's compassion. And then he gives this quote, as a father mercifully makes his son drink milk and bitter juice time and time again, embraces him, kisses him, and draws him close with the hand, so only my master, not I, knows what is good for me.
Mm.
Hence time, karma, and the like have no influence on me, your devotee. Thus out of mercy you make me experience happiness and sorrow, and induce me to serve you. I, like Prithu, this is referring to a pastime earlier in the Bhagavatam, I, like Prithu, am letting you know that just as a father automatically does what is beneficial for the child, you should fulfill our longings.
Mm.
Okay, this is the attitude. Who am I? What do I know? Whether suffering like this is good or bad for me. I trust that Krishna is giving it to me, even whether it's sweet, whether it's bitter. You're making me drink this. At the same time, you're embracing me, you're kissing me,
Mm.
you're drawing me close like a loving father. Sometimes a loving father gives the child something bitter out of love, right? Here, you got to take this medicine. I don't want to take it. No, take it. It's purely out of love. This is the attitude, Krishna, you know what's good for me. Now that's a really tall order. Um, but we all need to grow up in bhakti. We need to get to this place, like, and fair enough that we may, it may take us some time to get there, but when, like both you and I, Raghunath, we've had the fortune, we've been around long enough, we've met a lot of deep devotees, you
Mm.
know. Deep devotees means that, like, no matter what someone's going through, they can actually see it this way. It's not just like this is just some unobtainable kind of state of mind, or, no, no,
Right.
no. We know people that go through stuff and that respond just like this. I've seen you respond a lot like this to some of the struggles that you've had in life, just like, Krishna, what
I've
can I
seen
do?
myself respond in real pathetic ways too.
No, but this is your real, even if supposedly you did have some immediate external reaction, this is more underlying. This is deep within you, I think. And so this is what, after maybe some initial thing burns off, this is what's left is, Krishna, I'm in your hands,
Mm.
and you know what is good for me. And now let me process this, waiting carefully, waiting patiently for you to bestow your mercy on me in however you want. I'm just, you know, I'm yours now. You take
Mm,
care of me. Now, how do we get there? How do you
mm,
get to that place where even if everything in your life is falling apart, you're like, I deserve it. Send more if that's what I need. You know what's good for me. How do you get there, right? So how does one get there? We go back to verse number 5, which is 3 verses before this one that we just read. And this is Brahma speaking again. He says, O Almighty Krishna, in the past, many yogis in this world achieved the platform of bhakti by offering all of their endeavors unto you and faithfully carrying out the prescribed duties. Through such devotional service, perfected by the process of hearing and chanting about you, they came to understand you, O infallible one, and
mm,
could easily surrender to you and achieve your supreme abode.
mm,
Okay, this lays it out. I'm going to perform devotional service with all my endeavors, carrying out all, being very responsible, and making my life an offering to God by being very responsible and dutiful, and carrying out everything for God's pleasure. I'm going to be a good mother. I'm going to be a good father. I'm going to be a good devotee, right? I'm going to be a good person in the world. And I'm going to do it all as a representative of Krishna. And meanwhile, through that, um, I'm able to perfect the process of hearing and chanting, right? These shravanam, kirtanam. You do that for years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Devotees that we know that have been going 25, 30, 35 years.
mm,
Once you get that way, your faith becomes so strong that you can even be going through the worst, most painful stuff and be laughing about it and saying, Krishna, look at me, what a fool I am that I've been hanging. Even I've known you so long and I've been trying to serve you so long, still I have these attachments,
mm,
but you're taking them away from me. It's painful, but you're giving me what I need. We can get there. I know people that are there. I know plenty of people that are there. And what's the promise here? That person is surely eligible for liberation and bhakti. So that's the attitude. Mm.
there's a big spectrum. There's these people, everything that happens, I'm going to lean into Krishna. I'm going to lean into God. I'm going to lean into truth. I just fully trust my life is in divine hands. That is like this gold standard, this very high mark, this very, very, lofty ideal.
Yeah.
And then there's the extreme opposite. It's good to see the extreme opposite
Extreme
is I'm
opposite.
just complaining nonstop. I'm complaining
Right.
about everything going on in my life. I'm taking no responsibility for the obvious things. There's certain things are very obvious that I have some responsibility for that I've just dropped the ball on, and I still complain about other external factors. Then there's this whole deeper thing where something sort of happens. What a bad things happen to good people, and there's some past unmanifested karma that's becoming manifest in my life, and I'm like, and I'm still trying to blame something external, and these are the two extremes, and slowly there is like a polishing process going on as we lean into Krishna and trust. I mean, let's face it, it's not so much like in America, in America, or in the Western culture. When we get into bhakti, most of us aren't thinking, well, I'm going to get into bhakti because I want to get rich. Most of us aren't thinking like that. Most
Sure.
of us are like, we're from a wealthy culture, or American culture, where we have had stuff our entire life, and we realize the futility in material success. And we said, there's got to be something more than that. And so we get into maybe a spiritual path, or mystical books, etc. But like in India, there is that also, but there's also this idea of you worship God, you get money. And although we may, and so that is one type of people that do approach God. So then when you're in a situation like ours and you say, well, I'm not interested in money, I just want spiritual knowledge and truth. Krishna puts us through that test. And okay, you do? Well, okay. Well, let's see how good you're going to react when I start taking things away from you that you said you didn't want. Okay, let's see how much you really don't want them. And
Mm.
then, and this is the deep scrubbing that goes on with Krishna consciousness, it maybe um it starts to deeply scrub these things that you thought you weren't attached to, but you realize, wow, I really wasn't. I said I was coming into this not for material wealth, but there's these other things I'm very, very deeply attached to. A sense of stability, a sense of material stability that actually isn't stable anyway. And by the way, on the side note, it's not that, oh, now that I worship Krishna, I heard what Kostuba just said. He says we're going to lose everything. Guess what? You're going to
You're
lose
gonna
anything
lose it.
anyway. It's not
That's
like
right.
you get a pass from losing everything. This is material life. We lose everything. And until we get to that point where we understand, like, I'm not going to be able to keep anything here, even if you've got the most stable, organized, I've got insurance for this, and I've got a backup plan. I got a second house, and I got a trust fund, you're still going to lose everything. You're still going to lose. And Krishna is starting to pull these attachments away from us that were not helping us in our bhakti. They were helping my ego a little bit. They're helping my idea of security a little bit, but they actually weren't my actual shelter. There's one shelter, and that's Bhagavan. That's the Supreme Lord. That's sweet baby Krishna. There's one real shelter, and Krishna's getting us to fully understand that. So whether we come desiring wealth, oh God, please give me some money, I'm struggling. Desiring health, give me some health, my Lord, please. Give me some spiritual information, whatever it is, we're all coming from some background where we have some attachments and we have some sincerity. And Krishna is going to use whatever you got to start to purify us, to bring us to that point where, oh Krishna, it's just you and me. It's quite a beautiful process, and it works for everybody in a unique way. Krishna is 100% present for everybody, and he knows exactly what your attachment is. Krishna knows exactly where we're at.
This analogy of the father giving the son some bitter medicine, it's really helpful because there's two perspectives. There's the perspective of the son and there's the perspective of the father. The perspective of the son would usually be like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I'm going through. Why is he making me suffer so intensely?
Right.
Don't give it. You see kids when they, I have this one childhood memory, it's, it's like, like that we take the kid to work day, like they have that thing.
Yeah. Take the kid
And
to work.
so my father took me to work and my aunt worked with my father.
What did he work? What did he do?
My father was like an engineer for a
Okay.
telephone company.
Okay.
And my aunt was like kind of the cool aunt, like playing the acoustic guitar and hanging out with the kids and stuff like that. I must have been like 4, 5,
Okay.
probably like 4, something like
Little
that.
baby. The Stuba Lal.
Well, it gets even more because they put me in this little jacket and hat thing that I never would wear, but on this day they wanted me to wear this thing, and it was really
Dress up.
uncomfortable,
What kind of hat?
It was the jacket thing, whatever it was. It was like what do they call that pattern? Not
Herringbone?
houndstooth. Herringbone.
Herringbone?
Yeah, exactly. It was herringbone. It was like a wool herringbone thing with this matching like cap kind of thing. But I don't know, maybe they're strapping it around me or something. There's something about it that was really
That's
uncomfortable,
so nice.
And I remember like they struggled to get me in it and I was resisting and they were like, no, you got to wear this. And then I was in the back seat with my aunt in the car. And then I was finally, it was done, like they got me in it and they got me in the back seat and I was just going to have to deal with it, And then
Right.
my aunt just looked over at me and she just looked at me, she just started laughing, just like just laughing at me. And I was just like, because from their perspective, it's just from my perspective, it's like life is horrible. From their
Right.
perspective, it's like this is like such a joke, And from the perspective of the kid that's getting the medicine, it's like this is just the most miserable, horrible suffering. But from the perspective of the father, it's like this is just a quick thing. This is just a
Right.
quick little thing that's going to be over in no time, and it's going to be good for him.
Yeah.
It's going to, and that's we need to change our perspective. The more as I grow older and I associate with devotees who have, passed through this path along this path with me, all the time we hear statements like this, don't we? Yeah, well, just a few years left. It's like most people, they're hitting this age and think like, how long can I stretch it out? There's still a lot to go. And we're just like, yeah, a few years left. A few years left.
Get the sweet
So let me
kiss of
let me
death.
stay focused. Let me not get distracted because there's only a few years left.
Yeah. Some people are
It's
trying to get distracted. Like, how can I like read, how can
That's
I
what most
create
people
this?
are trying to do. Yeah,
They're
as they're
trying to
getting
get
older.
more distracted as they get older.
Yeah, yeah. So our
How can we
perspective
get
could be
sober? How can we get a little bit more sober, a little bit
sober it
more
up,
focused?
see it through Krishna's perspective that what we're suffering. Yeah, I'll give you like I have one friend that has a friend, and he was telling me about the suffering that this devotee friend is going through, and it was
It's
like
you,
really
isn't it? It's
brutal.
you, isn't it? It's you.
No, it's not me.
I got a friend that's got a friend. Not
If it's me,
me.
you just say it's a friend. No,
Is
this is
it
a friend
me?
of a friend.
Is it me?
No, no, it's
All
not
right, I'm gonna
someone that you
find out
even
in a
know.
second. Okay,
It's
go.
not someone that you even know. As a matter of fact, I hardly, anyway,
All right, go.
he was saying like, his wife left him. His business
Okay.
fell apart, or maybe it was in the other order, it might have been in the other order. Um, and then the wife like just started like tearing him up on like chat boards and stuff like that, like to all of
Oh.
his friends and all the people that he knows, his whole community, and just like it was just and more, and it was more than that, and it was still more, and it just like piled on to practically almost the breaking point, you know. And the way that the devotee responded was just like threw his arms up in the air, Tatanam Kampam, it's like, Krishna, I'm yours. You're grinding me like crazy. I surrender.
Mm,
I get it. I'm not in control. You're in control. I'm your devotee. Give me what I need, and I'm just going to try to. And what that person did was just really took shelter of reading steadily every day. Getting together with friends and reading these texts, and this person is so nice.
mm.
And it got him serious. It got him real serious. It got him really serious about his spiritual life. So Krishna gives us what
Yeah.
we need, and if we're
You know,
and if
ever see
we
that little, I don't know what a reel or something, where there's like some father out in the lawn and the kid who's like whatever, like 19 years old, living at home and going, "Dad, what are you doing? What are you doing?" The kid's freaking out, and the father's just like on a riding mower, and he's like, "This is nonsense. It's time for you to grow the hell up." And the kid is like, "These are all my video games. You're taking all my video." And the father runs over with the lawnmower of all the video games.
I haven't
And the
seen that.
kids, and the man has a mental like breakdown, like, this is like the universe taking away all the
Right, right,
things
right. It's for your own
that
good.
were. It's for your own good. It's
We all
that
got to
little.
grow up and let go of our attachments.
Mm.
Let go of trying to find some perfect video games. Just like diving into illusion and trying to find some happiness in the distraction. Or no, no, no.
Yeah,
Run the lawnmower over him.
it's going to come in some way, right when you think you're free from all some attachments. The real point is, will we really just take shelter in Krishna and like this person you were talking about, just hear and chant about Krishna while we're going through this? It's like medicine for the soul. And it actually relieves you and it makes you actually happy, like we say in those
It'll make you happy,
beginning
even in the
prayers. It
misery.
actually makes you happy because you're
Yeah.
no longer attached to anything of this material world.
Yeah, that's right. Even in the midst of the misery, you got a happiness and you can laugh at yourself in the circumstances. Then you're
Yeah.
getting somewhere.
And you're not alone. If you're going through that pain, that loss, that betrayal, that heartache, whatever it is, you're not alone. Sometimes you think, well, this is my exclusive problem. No, everybody's going to get it.
Everybody.
Nobody gets a pass from it. And sometimes it'll just keep on coming and coming and coming. And you got to look at it like, you know what? Because I need a lot of work. I need a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
You don't realize all that's said in these books, like this is a world of suffering. Everybody's suffering. You don't realize it when you're not like really going through it. You're just getting distracted. It's a little monotonous. You're watching television. You're just kind of killing time through it. And then Krishna turns it up. You know?
It's
Turn up
who
the
really
heat.
who really gets my goat is those "Life is Good" T-shirts. I've
Okay.
said this before. It's just like,
Life is
shut
terrible.
up. How do you know life is good?
Did you see the reel that I sent you, Raghunath?
Life is
Uh,
good. Let's do that.
Not the life is good one. More about like the parent kind of thing. But it said like the first part was like, this is what I imagined I would be as a mother. And it's like Julie Andrews and she's on the bed with all the kids around her. Did you
Yes.
see that one? And she's singing that song, snowflakes and and then it says, and this is what it, but this is the mother I became, and it's Judge Judy. Sit down and shut up.
Judge Judy.
This is what I became.
I think it is who's that comedian? Like Jim Gaffigan. He had one of those too. He said, I was sitting ever like, watch a mother like lose it on a kid at McDonald's or something like that.
You're
And
like, what a
there's always
horrible
a
father.
young couple watching going, when we become parents, we're going to treat the kid with the most, like, really these, with the most love and tenderness and understanding and sit down and ask them what they need. But now as a parent, whenever I see a lady losing it at a table and a toddler just making a whole mess, I think, what did that horrible child do to that poor parent?
That's good.
Someone's got to find that for me.
Different perspectives,
Yeah.
huh? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one question. We took the whole
You ready
thing.
for the next one? I'm going to read this one to you, Ragnar, because it's really more a question for you, I think. Well, in any case, I think you're going to be far better prepared to answer this. All right?
Alrighty.
This is from Sherry Yannick. We haven't heard from Sherry in a little while.
Hey, Sherry Annick.
Out in Hawaii now.
She's in man. She's been moving. She's on the move.
Well, she's been there for a while. That's why we don't have her on the show so much anymore, because
Yeah.
she's in a whole different time zone.
I know, but she's been popping around. She was on the East Coast. She was in
Yeah,
California,
she moves. It's around.
Hawaii. Okay, let's
Okay.
go.
I need some advice on how to have Christmas in my life as a devotee and no longer practicing Catholic, with a 6-year-old who wants presents, presents, presents. All right. My
Yeah.
daughter has been going to various temples since she was born and enjoys dancing in kirtan, picking flowers from Krishna. We get it. She's a wonderful kid. I grew up in a home that baptized us and stepped away from Catholicism shortly after. But my parents always celebrated Christmas in this non-religious, let's exchange gifts sort of way.
Sure.
How do I explain celebrating Christmas to my daughter as a non-Christian? I'd love to move away from excessive materialism that many engage on in Christmas. We do have a tree and lights. I feel confused myself, so I'd appreciate any insight. I know Raghu does Christmas with his kiddos, so curious how you all do it. A big thank you for answering this and for all that you do. And happy holidays.
Do they know it's Christmas coming on? So I do Christmas, and I'm really against all these Christmas haters. I do like a secular loving. I've upcycled these holidays, like that people hate Thanksgiving. Oh, this stupid Thanksgiving. You know what really happened on Thanksgiving? You know what? Upcycle it. It's a holiday anyway. You're getting offers. Upcycle it. For Thanksgiving, it's a day to give appreciation. And the same thing with Christmas. It's a holiday. It's a change to not think of myself and what I want, but what I want to get for other people. And I think a little child gets that. And if you really take depending on how little they are, but if that's the idea of today, we're going to think about what mom wants. Let's get something for mom. Let's get something for your sister. What would you think your sister would like? And and they experience the pleasure of giving. Sometimes people go to a homeless shelter, or devotees can set up a food for life. That idea of giving to somebody else is such a powerful gift to give a child. Take some of your money, and we're going to donate some of our money, or take some time. We're going to make some food. We're going to distribute food or something like that. That's a very powerful lesson. And if it happens to fall on this day, that's not even Christ's birthday anyway. But that we're going to use as an international holiday. Just go for it. Rally behind it. And you know what I started doing? I started making like gift incentivizing Krishna conscious holidays. This year we gave John Mastami presents. John Mastami presents. Why not? Because for a kid,
I see.
They're a little bit more kids, I think, are a little bit more materialistic anyway. Maybe that's not true. But kids like presents. So give them on the Krishna holidays. That way they're looking forward to the Krishna holidays as well. Hey, it's a special holiday. We make a big, I mean, if you live near a spiritual community, then Govardhan Hill, that's the Govardhan Puja. That's a big festival because there's a lot of goodies and a lot of sweets and a big hill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Krishna consciousness is sort of fun, but if you live away from a Krishna community, you have to make those spiritual festivals of our tradition. You got to make them very festive. And so you could do a secret Santa or whatever, a secret Krishna, or you could do a gift giving. And it's that same type of feeling. So you can sort of replace those holidays, or you can just upcycle the American holidays we have. I love doing Easter as well. And
You're a festive guy. Let me ask
yeah,
you.
they're great. Are
Let
you
me ask you a
kidding? It's the
question.
festival of spring. I live in a farm. There's like daffodils growing everywhere and crocuses, and we do hide candy around the yard. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Kids love it.
Let me
And
ask you a question.
and then you tie it in. Also, you can have kirtan with the kids. You can talk about giving and yeah, you don't have to bury these things.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When it comes to Christmas, did you ever involve any, like, who is Jesus? Let's talk about Jesus. Any pro Jesus, Christmas Carol Jesus, anything like that? Did you do that kind of thing?
Well, my kids went to a Waldorf school, so we did all the Christmas songs and like Christmas concerts.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really brought Jesus into
I never brought
Christmas.
Jesus into Christmas.
I talk about a little, but I mean, they're hearing enough. They're hearing enough spirituality from me anyway. But I don't. I'm not against it. I mean, of course, I've told all my kids about the stories of Jesus, but I didn't make the holiday focus around Jesus. I didn't have a
Because, like,
manger.
you do that
I
with
didn't have a
Krishna, you
manger
tell
or anything
stories
like
and
that.
stuff. So I thought maybe you tell some Jesus stories or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's not
I
too
did.
late.
Yeah, I did play like Away in a Manger and some. I'm a big Christmas song fan of like
I know.
spiritual Christmas songs.
I know.
What's my favorite, if you know?
Oh, I did know, but I haven't even thought of any Christmas songs because I'm out
Start
here.
thinking. It's that time of year.
Yeah. What is it? I forget
What
the
is
one.
my favorite?
It's a really beautiful one.
Is that really? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one.
When Christ was born. That one.
Yeah, that's a
What is that
very
one?
beautiful song.
Oh, Holy Night.
Oh,
Oh,
Holy
Holy
Night. That's what it is.
Night. That should
That's a
that should have been
tearjerker.
sang when Krishna appeared on that stormy night in the jail of Kamsa.
Should we
Holy
read
night,
the lyrics?
Devaki. A baby floated out of her womb into the sky, wearing helmet, carrying a lotus, a disc, a chakra, and a club, and then transformed back into a baby. And Vasudev carried on his head Ananta Shays, keeping the rain off. The guards, they fell asleep. And he walked right through the Yamuna.
Do you know what the song's about, Raghunath? Oh, Holy Night?
The birth of
Details.
Christ.
Any details? Any details?
No, I could barely know the words. I just like.
You want to hear them?
Sure.
Okay. We'll end the show this way today. O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night our dear Savior's birth.
I want everybody to close their eyes and think of that dank prison cell in Mathura. And
I thought you were going to go to the manger. Okay, all right.
No, not the manger. We're going to shift this over to Sweet Baby Krishna, where they probably got the story from in the first place. But go on.
Okay. Now we're going to shift. This is interesting. Okay, he shifts. First, it's, O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. You think you're going to go to the manger. No. Long lay the world in sin and error pining.
Just pining for sin and error.
No, I think it means pining like wanting the things of this world, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Full of desires. In other words, with a lot of bad karma and wanting material things. Till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. Oh, such an ananda there, right?
Yeah.
O thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices.
Ah,
For yonder breaks a new and glorious morn.
and put in a basket on Vasudev's
Oh,
head.
okay, so this is so, okay, so this is good, right? Now he appeared, we felt our worth, and now we're thrilled with hope. We were weary from just suffering this material world, but now we're getting this spiritual life. For
Kamsa was
yonder breaks a new and glorious morn, this whole rebirth. Now, then it gets real heavy, right? This is the part where the song shifts.
oh my
Fall
God.
on your knees.
Fall on your knees.
Oh,
Ah.
oh, hear the angel voices.
That's Ananta Shesh.
Okay, all right. I don't know the connection, but if it works for you, fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. O night divine. O night when Christ was born. O night divine. O night divine. Led by the light of faith, serenely beaming. This is torch lighting, right? Led by the light of faith, serenely beaming, with glowing hearts, by his cradle we stand. Oh, this is nice. Over by night, a star is sweetly gleaming.
Let's go to church this year.
Let's go to church. I think I want to be a Christian.
I really love to sing these songs.
Over by night, a star is sweetly gleaming.
Hmm.
It came the wise men from out of the Orient land. Those are the Indians coming. Those are the Brahmins. They're bringing the frankincense, right, all
Yeah.
of that. O
From the
king,
Orient. They came from the Orient. How much more do we have to spell this out?
I know. So those wise men are following that star. They're all astrologers and astronomers and all that. They know this stuff.
Mhm.
With the glowing hearts. Oh yeah, okay. Over by night, a star sweetly gleaming. It came the wise men from out of the Orient land. The King of Kings lay thus lowly manger. In all our trials, born to be our friends. Hold it. What did that say again? The King of Kings lay thus lowly manger. In all our trials, born to be our friends. Does it? I'm not sure if it's saying the theme of our show today, but that
That
all the
sounds like the theme
difficult.
of our show. All our
Yeah,
trials are born to be our friend.
I think that may be what it's saying. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night. Oh, night divine. Oh, night divine. Oh, night. Oh, night divine.
Hmm.
Whew. Good stuff.
Good stuff. The night when sweet Krishna was born. Fall
All
on your knees.
right.
Thanks everybody for joining us.
All right. Let me. I'm doing the music now. Mary, is
Okay,
that right?
remember tomorrow, Kostuba's got the day off. I'm on with Yadu Bar for interview day. Looking forward to Yadu Bar. Sweet soul, you're gonna love the show. And tonight, Sweet Baby Krishna at 7:30 for Sage community members. Join us. 7:30. You get the link. How do they get the link? How do they get on? How does it work now?
It's on
Sage
our
Community
Sage
Platform.
Community
On the Sage community platform. And we're going to be reading the Immunasticum, singing some songs, and telling some stories about Akrura entering Vrindavan and fighting the wrestlers tonight.
Oh wow. Okay, right. Roga's in the festive mood now. He's going.